In today's video, we're going to continue going over these major snowstorms. There's still triplet snowstorms expected. Of course, we're not going to title it that twice in a row, but that is still on the cards here for the upcoming 10-day period, as well as brutal cold air coming up potentially for the central states especially, but impacting the west, central, and eastern states. Real quickly, let's talk about my consulting company, Prestige Weather. We're closing out an amazing year with so many happy customers. If you're looking for more than the generic hourly or daily forecasts that can be so frustrating and very broad, look no further than Prestige Weather. We help out individuals and businesses alike. If you're an individual looking for better, more accurate, and direct weather information, be sure to subscribe to our standard package. That's only $4.99 a month. You get early access to direct weather, seasonal, and monthly forecasts, also weekly one-on-one calls with us talking about the weather, and regional forecasts cater to your area. If you're a business, organization, or event manager, be sure to email us at prestigeweather@gmail.com or use the sign-up sheet on our website business section. We would love to work with you. We've been helping out so many businesses, organizations, and events just like yours plan for the weather ahead. We offer consulting calls, texts, and emails catered to your exact location of need. We will be on standby during your job or event and give you updates from start to finish. We also offer long range, medium range, and short range forecasts. We can help with rainfall and snowfall forecasts, plus the timing of onset and ending, which is so important. We pride ourselves on being highly flexible, and we're always willing to deliver on your specific needs. Put a meteorologist in your pocket so you no longer have to guess what the weather will do. Let's dive into things, and as we take a look at things, storm number 1 is underway. Okay, we have this low located over Texas here, the Texas Panhandle. This is expected to move northward, kind of in this direction, bringing pretty major impacts here to the north of that low. Also, we expect severe weather here across the south, and tomorrow up and down the east coast here, we expect some severe weather and severe winds. This is actually a little bit outdated, I'm realizing now. We're actually looking at something much more like this currently. So low over Missouri, severe weather ongoing here, and heavy snowfall ongoing as well to Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. This storm has shifted slightly southward. I have a client up there for Prestige Weather near Minneapolis up there in Minnesota, and this has been a tricky system. We've seen a slight shift southward, which has really brought down the totals for those areas further north for the most part. They saw some snowfall earlier today. But definitely that is something that has been shifting with the storm, if anything. As we continue this on, we see that heavy snowfall expected to continue here for the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes. Again, front end snowfall, but really quickly switching over to rainfall moving northward. That should wash away most of that snowfall that is occurring. Again, this secondary low here developing. This should cause severe winds along the eastern seaboard here, especially for South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, but even up the Delmarva into New Jersey and into New England, I expect pretty strong winds as a result of all of this. Pretty severe for even this time of year in this type of system. It's on definitely the severe end of things. This low kind of hangs around. This is by time we're reaching Wednesday on January 10th, and you can see it's still near Michigan, bringing some snowfall there, especially in the lower peninsula with some moderate to heavy snowfall. Storm number 2 is getting going here for the Northwest. By time we're taking a look at this Wednesday morning on January 10th and bringing snowfall to the Cascades and Rockies as it works its way southward. Redevelops over Oklahoma as a 997 millibar low pressure center. Jet stream is doing something like this at this point. As you can see, pretty severe cold air diving southward here out west. All of this is just going to continue to move eastward as this low kind of climbs northeasterly, now located kind of in the southern Ohio, northern Kentucky area. We see that there is plenty of snowfall taking place again for Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, northwest Ohio, and then Michigan, especially the further south you go. Same situation here. Again, we talked about this yesterday, but warm front there, cold front here. Warm air is going to cause things to start as snowfall and end as rainfall, which definitely hinders accumulation compared to if it's an all snow event. We see that snowfall continue through onto Saturday, January 13th here for Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. eventually moving out, giving way to colder times ahead for the central and eastern states. Storm number 3 getting going here out west, bringing heavy snowfall, heavy to moderate to heavy snowfall here for a lot of the Rockies, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming. They're seeing impacts as a result of all of this. And this storm moves very far southward here as the weakest low out of the 3,006 here, but you can see it does not hinder the impacts too much. We see heavy snowfall happening here, pretty far south. Take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is actually going to end up happening this way. Usually when things are far out, kind of speculative, you're looking for things that make sense and are more common. When you see things that are very out there, that causes me to be a little bit more unsure. But certainly if a model is showing it, it means that the chance is there. There's a possibility, but not a probability. So that goes for eastern Texas, northwest Louisiana, portions of Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Certainly would be a very far south snowstorm and definitely a very rare setup if this does take place like this. I will add that in El Nino years, which we happen to be in one here, this tends to be the type of year where weirder things happen like this. So that does kind of lead me to believe it's a little bit more possible, but certainly still not the most likely outcome here. By Tuesday, January 6th, we see the low located over eastern North Carolina, bringing some interior eastern snowfall. The models have been going back and forth with where they want this low to go. We've seen a wide variety of solutions. I've seen yesterday, the European model showed something like this with the track. Today, we're seeing something more like this. And we've seen even offshore tracks with this causing East Coast snowstorm as a result of this system. So definitely a wide variety of possibilities with this one, especially considering how far out it is. So keep this all in mind. But severe cold air is predicted as of now to follow this one. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but I was looking at the upcoming playoff games in the NFL, and I think the Chiefs game, the forecast as of now, whatever CBS Sports uses, was like 13 degrees. So very, very severe air that weekend heading into the days following. So certainly could be a very impactful time frame. That storm eventually moves out, giving way to this very cold eastern period, eventually lightening up a little bit as most of the very severe cold air does eventually move out, but still an overall cooler pattern through the 18th here is what we're seeing on this European model. GFS, we're just going to roll through it. We see storm number 1 goes just how the European model showed it. Storm number 2 moves up pretty similar to how that European model showed it. And then storm number 3, again, kind of similar. It shows that more east-based look, but you can tell that it's kind of really weak compared to it. And we have a much more broad system with some snowfall along the eastern states, but certainly looking a lot less intense on this GFS model. And also, snowfall doesn't make it nearly as far south. We don't see any snowfall in this corridor. Maybe ice, if anything. Snowfall mostly for northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, portions of Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana there, in Ohio before moving eastward. Then we give way to this very severe Arctic air, eventually warming over time. And we end up with this kind of a pattern near the 20th, maybe getting a little bit of a winter thaw here, finally getting a break from this severe cold that looks to kind of take place here through about the kind of 15th to 20th time frame. Really, it's starting now as we've seen activity really ramp up and cold air really ramp up. That is, as of now, we're seeing models show this ease up a little bit, but certainly that doesn't have to be the case, just a possibility at this point. Here's the total snowfall in the European model, clearly extremely large amounts, and I think now is a perfect time to mention that it is a great time to consider weather consulting, and at Prestige Weather, we've been doing a lot of commercial consulting this winter. Be sure to reach out to us if you have an outdoor business, organization, or event that is really weather dependent. We've been helping a lot of folks, very, very happy customers, and it has been a lot of fun to serve you guys and provide those services. Be sure to email us at prestigeweather@gmail.com. That's going to be on screen, or you can find it on our website as well as in the pinned comment down below. Multiple ways to reach out to us, as it should be, and we can get to work together. I'm looking forward to it. We do calls with you guys, so you'd have the opportunity to speak with me directly and ask questions, and we can go over the weather together. I've been enjoying it so much, and it's just been a very pleasurable experience for me, and I really, really want to bring on more clients, as it's just been so great, guys. I definitely can't stress that enough. It has been so much fun, and we've had a lot of happy people. So we are trying to bring on new clients right now. Anywhere in the nation, lower 48 here, we've been serving clients. So be sure to reach out if that type of business does interest you. Going through the amounts, anywhere in the grays of dusting, if anything, blues are 2 to 6 inches, purple 6 to 10, pinks 10 to 20 there, and then your pastel blues being 20 inches plus. We can see really for the eastern half of the nation, the bullseye is going to be in this kind of corridor, as most of these storms kind of track through this area here. Mostly in the very far east, mountainous snowfall here for New England seems to be the trend. And then out west, anywhere in this bubble is really your highlight. So hard to predict that, right? Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, and Rockies. Who could have guessed? But they are seeing plentiful amounts of snowfall over the next 10 or so days. Total precipitation is crazy. When we look out west, we see pretty standard, slightly above average amounts, but in the east, it's just explosive how much precipitation we're seeing over the next 10 days. Clearly the flow is something like this, kind of moving up towards the northeast, and very, very severe winds along the eastern seaboard tomorrow into tomorrow night, like I mentioned, so be on the lookout for that, as it could be very extreme. I've seen for a lot of places estimates above 50 miles per hour, with even some high-end estimates showing maybe even over 70 miles per hour. So definitely a very, very impactful wind system. Don't know if it'll be quite as high as those high-end estimates, but definitely the chances there for over 50 mile per hour winds for a lot of different places along the eastern seaboard. Be on the lookout for that, as well as flooding rainfall. That's a huge concern, especially as snow is melting at the same time for some folks. Gonna bring a lot of different impacts with it. The GFS model's total snowfall here looks very similar here. We see a lot out west, of course, like we mentioned, and then the bullseye in a very, very similar spot. So I feel very comfortable with this outlook here from both the European and the GFS model. We have great agreement, multiple storms, as we called it, triplet storms moving through this area over the next 10 to 15 days. Be on the lookout for it, as it's going to be a very, very active pattern for the next 10 days here. We're going to be tracking it daily with you guys, so be sure to look out for daily uploads. You can subscribe to see those in your subscription box, as well as the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.